It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Diego is here, a.k.a. Lil Xan.
Yeah. He was asking me, he's like, how do you want to be introduced? I appreciate that a lot, though, but I like both. Yeah, Diego, Lil Xan.
Okay.
Appreciate you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for coming up. Are you chewing gum?
Oh, my bad.
Hold on, I got a piece of paper for you. Come on, man.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot. Joe, I hate you.
Now, let me ask you this, because we did ask you, I know Dan asked you, would you rather be called Diego, Lil Xan? Are you thinking, or have you ever thought about changing your name?
Yeah, definitely, because what he's referring to is back in few years ago, I wanted to rebrand fully into Diego. I thought, the name, I still think the name Lil Xan is kind of ridiculous, I don't know how I even got 1% of what I did with that name. It was a product of how ignorant the time was. It was like SoundCloud days. But yeah, there was a time where I wanted to just rebrand as Diego, and I think I did it in a horrible way because, so now, it's almost like it could be career suicide to change your whole name like that. So I like both. It's like, if call me Lil Xan or Diego, it's fine,
I mean, people have done it. I mean, Lotto, she went from mulatto to
Big
Lotto.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have done that. I just think it's cool, like Diego. I haven't really heard a lot of rappers named Diego, so,
All right, well, let's get into that, because you did call yourself Little Xan because you were addicted to Xanax, right? But there's a reason that happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes back to about when I was 18, around I was hospitalized due to I didn't know what it was. They did all types of surgeries on me, like a spinal tap, trying to find out if I had some illness, but it turned out to just be a really bad case of anxiety. So what they did was what they normally do is they prescribe you Ativan, which is basically just Xanax, and then they try to get you off it quick because it's a terrible substance. But once they took me off, I still felt like I needed that sense of peace from anxiety. It took away a lot of my, what I thought were my problems. So once, they took me off, I was like, man, I need to find that again. So that's what led me to kind of to finding it, on the streets and stuff, like alternative methods.
Yeah. I think that's important to note, though, because sometimes people look at people and they're addicted to this. They just think it's cool. But what really happened is you were prescribed something, and that's a powerful drug to be prescribed.
Yeah, it's like the everybody knows the typical doctor prescribes you this medicine and then you abuse the medicine and it spirals. It was a typical case like that, And
at the same time, the music was blowing up so much too, though.
Yeah, see, it was, it happened, it felt like it happened overnight, I was rapping for a year and a half before, but more as a hobby, and it would get 10,000 plays here and there, and I thought that was cool. I was happy with that, because I didn't know anything, above that. And then it just started taking off, and when you give a young kid like that a lot of money and fame and not proper guidance, a good team around him, it's a recipe for disaster. Of course, something problematic is gonna come from that, and unfortunately, that was my case. I didn't have the right people per se, around me. Just more money focused, kind of. And
right.
Yeah.
And that's tough because sometimes it's and then I remember, and I actually know Stat Quo, and I know he used to manage you because I used to work for Eminem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I trust. Yeah. He told me stories.
Yeah.
Some stories, yeah.
But I remember that, you publicly said that he was just giving you drugs at that time. But I know then I've seen you walk that back, too.
Yeah. What I wanted to do with that, how I handled that was terrible. And why it was terrible, because I was on drugs when I made those statements. And what I regret about that is obviously being on drugs when I made that statement, because a lot of people didn't take me very seriously when I said it. And I mean, why would you? I'm all crazy on live, wild. And I wish I would have, took a step back and thought about it and thought of a better manner to maybe present that kind of, information, I guess, forward. Because I was fed up,
Right.
I was really fed up. I felt like they were just dragging me along by a little string just so I wouldn't, tell on them or anything. And they weren't doing anything for my career. I just wish I could have expressed how I felt in a better manner, because that going on live and when I was all messed up on Xans, it just was a bad picture. It made me look bad,
Right. And then you also, now I wanted to ask you, with the rebranding, you do have all these tattoos.
Yeah.
Do you have regrets about that?
No. I get that question a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good question. People ask, are you going to, get a lot of them removed going forward or when you're a little bit older? And to that, it's like, there's so many wild kids that look like me from this generation that I think I'll be fine. I think there'll be a.
You're not gonna go get a corporate job.
Yeah,
so
I think
fine.
yeah, exactly. I think there'll always be a little niche clique for me in the old people era, with face tattoos and had a wild life,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then being on tour now and doing some of your older music, from when you were in a different frame of mind, how is that for you? Because obviously the fans still want to hear, Betrayed. They still want to hear those older songs.
Yeah.
But then you might be in a whole different headspace. So how do you handle that?
Yeah. It's crazy that you say that. Is we just did a show in Los Angeles, and it was the first show I've done in LA in like a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that same thing. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to do Betrayed again. I have some new music out, but not enough music to feel comfortable, really just doing a show again, because like I want to perform new stuff. As an artist, you get tired of, and then I feel like, well, like I don't want to bore my fans. I don't want them to come out just to see the same show that they've seen many times in the past.
Right.
So what I did was I brought a live band to kind of like spruce things up a little bit, like add a little bit of a different rendition of Betrayed, a live version, and then played some new music, but also like a live version. So just to spice it up, and it was a good reaction. And now I kind of want to do my whole tour like that with a little live band. So it's a little flair. It's cool.
And people, have they been very supportive? Because I think fans can be really particular. Like they box you into a certain space, right? And they like the music that you came out with. But then as you're evolving, sometimes that's a difficult transition for artists to make. I've heard some of the new music, So Pretty. I really like that.
Thank you.
And I know right now it's a weird time for you because there's been things that for your own sanity you've had to cancel and restructure. And sometimes that makes people not trust. Like, is he really going
to show up? Is he reliable? Is he someone we can trust? And that goes into a big part of my past that I regret. Like I wish so much I could be this person back then. A little bit older, a little bit more mature. Because when you're unreliable, like a record label is gonna look at that like, well, we don't need him. He's unreliable. Or like burning bridges, like, well, why do we need him? He's unreliable. He's on drugs. He's wilding out. Look at him. Like that was something I really regret in the past, was burning a lot of maybe bridges that that's what we're doing now. It's like we're coming back around and we're like, yo, though, he's good.
Because you were early.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I
It's
just want
like
to put that up for anybody listening.
Yeah,
they were like, he's here. I was like, he's here already.
Yeah. So what we're doing now is I have a good solid team around me. They have found me right when I was getting out of rehab, actually, which is a perfect time because that was when I really decided to stay sober, and they have helped me tremendously. I didn't think I could even get back in like buildings, without certain degrees. But yeah, so I'm very grateful to be in the position I am right now. Very grateful.
And I know at one point you had tried to not go to rehab and just cold turkey quit everything, and that was not an easy thing. So I'm sure that people hit you up and say, okay, I have this issue, and they may look at you and say, I'm proud to see you doing this. I'm trying to get through whatever I'm trying to get through. What advice would you give them? Because you also ended up having seizures and doing that and then having to go to rehab.
Yeah, definitely, the thing about going cold turkey, and obviously every doctor would tell you that that's a horrible idea, because of more so with Xanax is what you get the seizures from withdrawing, not so much opiates, which is kind of weird, I went cold turkey completely, and it sucks. Anybody that's gone through withdrawals knows that that's just horrible. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. And then I had a few seizures, that kind of really put perspective into my life. Made me realize how on the edge I was like teetering that line. It was a wake up call. And as bad as those seizures were and affected me, I think I'm very grateful that they happened because maybe I wouldn't be as sober, I guess.
I'm not going through that again.
Or maybe I wouldn't be here, even worse. So it was a crazy wake-up call,
And you went to Scott Storch's rehab facility?
Shout out to, Scott Storch and Steve LaBelle. They helped me out tremendously, too. That's a cool rehab. That's a Cali sober rehab. Where,
because it's a weed-friendly rehab, right?
Yeah,
okay, so break this down for me. Like, what did you have to do? How long were you there?
Yeah, imagine you had to smoke. That'd be crazy.
Like we got to recovery.
It's a very, the Heavenly Center, abbreviated THC. They believe that it's just it's a form of therapy, they don't force you to do it, that's like they're not like, oh, smoke this, you got it.
It's just weed friendly.
Yeah, it's just like if you do, and it's at designated times. It's very very like professional. You know, it sounds not professional, but Steve LaBelle, Scott Storch, great people. Yeah, I love what they're doing. It's a whole new thing, Cali sober kind of rehab.
How long did you go there for?
See, the thing is, they had sent me to a detox, which was also from their partners, and so you could actually even smoke weed at the detox, which is the pre-part before. It's like you go to the detox to make sure you're not going to die from, getting off the drugs, and then the rehab part is the rehabilitation part. So I did 30 days of the detox, helping me get off, weaning me off of everything, and then I did about a month of the rehab, but then left, against everybody's will. You know, they always say like, oh, you're going to relapse if you leave, and I respect their opinions, but I knew at that point I could stay on this straight line of sobriety myself, but they helped me out so much.
How many times did you end up saying I'm off, I'm done this, and then, because I know now it's been like almost 2 years, right?
Yeah.
But prior to that, it's not easy. A lot of people try it and then they end up going back. How many times did you relapse prior to finally saying I'm over it for good?
Yeah, too many to count. I remember the first time I went to a detox program when I was first on my journey of sobriety. They told me, the people that work there, they were like, you're probably not going to get it on your first time. And that felt so discouraging because I'm like,
they shouldn't say that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, I'm here. I'm trying to get help.
We'll see you again.
Yeah. But you know what was so crazy about that statement? It was once I left, the day I left, I picked up and relapsed.
The day you left?
Yeah, the day I left. And I was like, dude, what the hell? Like this, they know, they know something.
Yeah.
And it took a few times. I'd go get out just a couple days sober, mess up, go back. It was by the fourth time I was like, I can't keep doing this. I gotta, stick to it, I guess, or I'm gonna die.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what about your family? Like, where were they in all of this? Because you're still really young, by the way. What are you, 26?
26, yeah, 26.
So when all this was happening, 18 years old, when you were, what was happening like with your family? What were they saying? Were they?
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just talking about this with my friend today. There's only so much they can do, at a certain point. Like God bless their souls, they tried as much as they could to get me off, substances and put me in programs or do all that. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to you have to want to change yourself, and they learned that too. And I think they had a little bit of hope that one day I would see clearly and be like, I can't keep living like this. Obviously, they were fearful that I was gonna pass away every night, Yeah, they're very good people.
Did they feel like it was this evil music industry? Because parents can be like that.
Yeah,
Like if he wasn't doing this music, then
yeah, there was definitely, they saw what was going on. They were familiar with the people that were kind of directing me. My team back then, I guess, and they could see some nefarious activities going on in the back, but. What can they do? Like
right.
these people seem so powerful and they have all the money and the connections and they're the ones making your son what they want to say famous and all that. So they, it was a little bit of.
Were there some artists that stuck by your side throughout this whole ordeal?
Yeah,
when some people had given up, because I know we have these stories of certain people aren't answering the phone, like you said. You didn't know if you'd be able to walk into certain buildings again, right? But were there people that were like, nah, I still, whatever you need, I got you?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people that, just friends, obviously, that I know, close family.
Like other artists,
Other artists. Yeah, like Trippie Redd's always been good. He's always, Trippie Redd, a lot. There was a lot of negativity, but there was a lot of support, and that's what kept me going. Was that support?
I was thinking about McConan when he did that post. I don't know if you saw it, but
where Post Malone hit him up, and then
everybody was because
he did a song.
Nobody was responding.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, NBA YoungBoy did something with him.
Yeah, he did. He's like after it's because he did a song with NBA, and then he that was a very interesting. When I saw that, I thought that was interesting because you have two options, right? At that point, you either can expose what he did, like the fakeness maybe in the industry, or you can tone it down and work with these artists, like you could maybe like post his in his DMs, maybe you could have a song with Post Malone, or Sway Lee was the other one, right? Or maybe you could do a song. So there's two ways you can go about that, and obviously he chose the
violence.
He chose violence. It's the industry, it's nothing new. I think he was just
and that's what everybody was saying. That's what this industry is like. When you're hot, and when you're not, people don't respond. They may even unfollow you.
Yeah, I mean, and that was like a perfect expression of that. I thought that was violence. Yeah, he chose violence.
And then I know for quite some time you've been saying you were going to do this tribute album to Mac Miller, but now is it back on track?
That was as much as I would love to do something like that, respectfully, I couldn't. You know, I'm not the right person to do something like that. Back then, I did think so, but no, I respectfully, because he's such an amazing artist, and I knew him at the end, and he was such a kind soul. It would feel disrespectful.
For the family and everybody.
Yeah, and yeah, like, you know, it's just, yeah, I don't know. That's how I see it, I guess.
Now, Not on Drugs Anymore. That is the name of the new project.
That's the name
or just the song?
Of the song.
Okay.
But the project has no name yet, so it could be that too, you know. That would be a good name.
Okay, because that really holds you accountable. Because you can't put out a song called "Not on Drugs Anymore."
We said, imagine we drop a song called "Boda Back on Drugs Again."
No, you cannot do that. No part 2 to this. It's not on drugs anymore. Yeah, but, for real this time.
You know, that's a good record, self-explanatory. Obviously, not on drugs anymore. We did a video for that. That's not solely what, you know, my new music is gonna be summed up to, just like a whole like dare project, like sobriety. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be
this
like,
is your brain.
Yeah. This is your brain on drugs. It's gonna be just cool vibes, like indie rap is what I call it, like indie.
It feels like you're still addicted to women though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That a little bit, a little bit. That's a little bit, a lot maybe.
You said a little bit, a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I love women. I always have. That's probably a vice in its own way, you know.
Okay, because you have a song that they actually sent me. It's not out yet. Used to.
That. Yeah, it's the next one.
So does that mean now you finally have found the right woman?
Okay. Yeah, you heard. Yeah, you like the lyrics. Yeah, you know, I have a girl in my life that is real important. We don't like to give like labels to things, you know. But
is that we or you?
Probably more me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely
Let's
more
say that.
me.
You didn't want to get. Okay.
She probably would love to have a label, but. I'm just being real, but you know, we're young. We're young. She's my age. She gets it. She's been with me for a couple years. She understands that you know, it's a lot of temptation and a lot of crazy stuff that happens in this industry, but she's cool.
Listen, cool enough that you talking about her, so.
Oh, yeah. I love her. I do love her, yeah.
Okay, because in the past, you know, does that make her nervous when she thinks about your past? And you were kind of wild.
I was completely, very wild.
When it came to the ladies. What would you say is that, like, give us an example of your wildest night? Because it is not easy to be young and have the access that you had.
Yeah, that's another thing. Because high school for me, like, I didn't get, like, a lot of girls. You know, I had a girlfriend here and there. But once the music started taking off, it was a complete 360, you know. Yeah, you know, I don't know if I could tell you my craziest night.
Yes, you can.
That's crazy. I mean, there's been too many, like, too many.
Have you ever been disgusted with yourself? Like, what is wrong with me?
Disgusted in myself. That's a good one. Maybe a little bit, but not so much. I don't know. Never like I was never like no. Keep it pretty tame.
Like, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah. We've had a lot of wild, crazy nights. It's definitely more like tamed now as I get older, but I still like to have, you know, fun here and there, but it's definitely in a more mature manner.
So I've heard you're working on a documentary also.
Yes.
Is that so? Tell us about this, because I haven't found much information on it.
There's not a lot. Yeah, not a lot.
And like, how far along are you? Where is this documentary starting?
You know, what was that? I was like, what can I say about? Yeah. Do you want me? This documentary, we haven't started filming yet. No.
Okay.
Yeah, we're barely in the early process of it. But what it's gonna be centered around more is I don't know, like the past, what I've gone through in the past, and now like a good comeback story.
Okay.
People love a good comeback story, and that's kind of what that will be, you know, in a sense. It'll be like showing what I've been up to, what, you know, all the bad funny stuff that happened in the past, and my redemption now is how I see it, like a redemption arc, I guess, you know.
Because you have a lot of old footage, I'm sure, too.
And there's a lot that, thank God, hasn't reached the surface of the internet that we might throw in there, though, just because we have to, you know. But, yeah, there's a lot of... thank God there's a lot of footage that we can use, yeah.
And when you talk about a good comeback story, are there people that you feel like you need to go back and be like, I was wrong in this situation? Like, I didn't handle things the way I needed to.
I mean, just talking about, like, the stat situation, you know, how I wish I would have handled that a lot different, you know, or maybe just kept it to myself. I was really angry when that happened.
Right.
And I had been angry for like a year or even longer than a year. So stuff like that, you know, as I get older and what I like to think more mature, There's a lot of stuff that I wish I could walk back or change, but I gotta just keep it moving, keep it pushing. There's not much I can do, but try to show people the new me.
All right, so you just started filming. You haven't even really started.
We haven't even started.
You're mapping it out, but you definitely want to make sure you do this.
Oh, it's 100. Yeah, it's already. Yeah, it's about to happen.
Okay, and how do you feel now, like coming back out? Because sometimes it's also scary when, like you said, you've been kind of like dealing with your sobriety, and I saw that you had said that being back on the road wasn't going to be good for your sobriety, so that's why previously there were certain obligations that you weren't able to fulfill. Yeah,
well, you're referring. Yeah, we were about to do a tour that I dropped out of real quick. That was a real messy situation. The problem with that was set up by not my manager or team. That was obligations set before I had met my new manager and new team. So it was just like if I was with him when we would have never even agreed to doing that. That was just something like very hasty, very unprofessional. So we that was never gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah, that was never gonna happen. And I wasn't in the best. I was sober, but I wouldn't say I was in the best headspace to go back on the road just yet. Like it could have been a situation. Yeah, because going out there, temptation. A lot of temptation.
Do you still drink though? And
Yeah, occasionally. I never had too bad of a problem with alcohol, thank God.
Okay.
But I don't think I haven't drank in like a month, and if I do, it's not to get
you're okay with that.
Yeah, it's not to get like hammered. It's just a couple of drinks here, occasionally.
Isn't it crazy how marijuana is like how bad it used to be for the idea of it, and now it's like come on.
Yeah, it's even decriminalized here now, right? Yeah. That's and that's something I'm big on. Is I'm a big pothead. Yeah, big pothead. Yeah, Cali sober vibes. It does. Weed helps me a lot. Because obviously I'm not on anything else. It occupies my time. Like where I used to would be so caught up with how many counting. But when you're a drug addict, it's a whole routine. Like you're counting your pills, all this. It's more than just like being on the substance, at least for me. So weed helps with that. It feels like that doing this process of like rolling up or smoking and packing. It helps in that sense.
Besides music, what are other things that you do for fun?
Yeah, I picked up I collect reptiles now, like chameleons. And,
wait a second.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing now.
All right, so chameleons and what else?
I have 2 chameleons, 3 bearded dragons, and a leopard gecko right now.
Bearded dragons, those are like, they look like iguanas?
Yeah. If you seen the movie Holes?
No.
Oh, with Shia LaBeouf Holes, the old classic?
I didn't see it.
You know those little dragons? Okay, they look kind of like that. Okay. Yeah, but
those things are scary.
Yeah,
to me.
when they get fully big, they're kind of intimidating.
They don't do anything though, right? They're not like dangerous I haven't
been bit. I haven't been bit
but
by
they
one.
do bite. Or
It's like I haven't been bit, but it'd be like a little pinch. It wouldn't. They don't have like sharp teeth, But it's something I don't know. Every time I tell someone that, they always have a funny reaction. It's another form of therapy,
Right.
Waking up, taking care of them. I'm a nerd. Like
what do you do? Can you cuddle with them or what?
Nah, you can't cuddle. I have cats for the cuddling. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a cat person too.
A lot of people don't admit, like especially guys. First of all, I love cats.
I love cats.
I think that they get a bad rap. People are like, no, I'm gonna get a dog. But cats are very easy to maintain and take care of.
I think that they get a bad rep because whoever's talking bad about the cat hasn't had a positive experience with one. Like if you really adopt a cat and grow with it, you'll see its personality and you'll see it loves you, like a dog would. And they're smart. The thing about cats is they're smart, and that's what makes them funny. Like they know what to do to tick you off. They'll knock something over. You know what I mean? Like they're funny.
Because there's this stigma of like an old woman with cats, surrounded.
Cat
they always
lady.
They always act like that's like the worst thing that could happen. But
yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. Like we grew up in Brooklyn with cats, and part of the reason why you have cats is because you don't want to have mice.
Yeah, keep the rats.
And you don't want to have, and they'll eat roaches and all kinds of things. So they're very handy creatures.
Yeah, natural pest.
And I feel like people can, like not people, but rodents and things like that. They can smell if you have a cat in the house,
and they'll stay away.
away.
Yeah, and I love cats. I have a little dog too. I love animals in general. It's just good energy to be around. I'm big on just positive energy. I'm becoming like a hippie.
I know. I see. This is like a whole nother show you could be doing.
Yeah. I'm different.
Well, that's good. When is the full project coming out?
Probably end of September, early October maybe. Yeah, probably. Yeah, end of October. Probably end of October.
All right, and so now you've been doing shows. Is there a tour coming or?
Yeah, we're gonna start slow, do like a little six city run throughout United States, smaller venues, starting off small again. That's how I want to do it. I want to not jump in too crazy.
Rebuild.
Yeah, rebuild it. Start more intimate. Build it back up again. You know.
Oh, you know what I want to ask you, since you talked about some funny things that happened online. You were on Fake Watch Busters.
That was crazy. You know,
with two fake watches.
I want to explain this story because I'm so glad that you brought this up. Okay. I don't know if those watches are fake, but those watches weren't mine. I couldn't afford no watch like that. Are you kidding me?
So you were stunting with somebody else's.
But that's why I got mad at Fake Watch Buster, because those watches were from someone who could afford them.
Okay.
Like, I'm talking like a billionaire. I don't want to give out his name, but he created a website that, you know, is so that's what pissed me off, is I was like, I don't think this guy would have fake watches.
It was Elon Musk?
No, it wasn't Elon Musk. But but he was a billionaire, so that's what pissed me off, because I was like, they can't be fake. Why would this billionaire have fake watches? I don't know. Maybe they were. I don't know. But
if I was a billionaire, anything I wore, people would think it's not fake.
Yeah.
So why buy the real thing?
So that's why I was tripping when I was like, man, this ain't even mine, and y'all calling it fake. Like, come on. No.
But you ended up getting some fake jewelry. I mean, some free jewelry out of that, right?
Yeah. You know, he's a good friend.
That is hilarious, by the way. That you had those watches on.
That's what pissed me off so bad. That I was like, Mo, if only you knew that these weren't mine and there were some rich guys, then you'd believe that they were real.
Who told you about that? Like, did you see?
I saw it on Instagram, and I'm like, yo, I can't do anything. I can't.
You can't do a thing.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. You know, I would never. That's a good example of something I would never do again. I would never flex someone else's watches. And then get mad about them possibly being fake. I wouldn't do that. But that's my life. There's so many little stories like that. Me falling asleep on an airplane on someone. Like funny stuff that builds
But there's some serious thing. I mean, look, there was a situation. I remember you also thought you were going to be a father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really did.
Yeah. And you still, to this day, are not sure, right, about...
No. See, I'm pretty sure I understand what happened with that. Was people at the time thought I was in cahoots about it with the girl, you know, like we were trying to do this for like virality or something, to be viral. But no, she lied to me too. I really thought I was going to have a kid. But then I told her to go... It was just fishy, you know, because I started seeing my fans, you know, when the fans start seeing someone's up, and then I take notice that I'm like, okay. And then there was just some inconsistencies, and then our relationship ended kind of after that, you know. Was
it because of that? In
a way, not directly, but it didn't help. You know, it definitely didn't help, because that hurt me too. I thought I really was going to have a kid.
I know, you were like, you went on social media like, I'm having to be a father, I can't wait.
I never did anything in the past to be viral or it was staged anything. It always happened organically.
Right.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
And then there was the hot Cheeto story.
Again, another organic thing that you would think, like, what is that? Like, is that set up? Is that staged? No, what happened with the hot Cheeto thing is I ate too many hot Cheetos, threw up a little blood, went on live, talked about it, and said, yo, I was just making a live. I was just like, yo, letting my fans know that I was still going to be on tour, you know, that the hot Cheetos didn't put me down and out. And then the next day I'm at the airport, and one of my friends shows me his phone, and it's Lil Xan overdoses. They used the word overdose. I never said the word overdose, but shout out to that blog, whoever it was that used it, because then every major blog picked that up and used the word overdose, and it just turned it into like this wild overdosed on hot Cheetos, and then people started giving me hot Cheetos everywhere I'm at, and I'm like, oh my god,
to kill you.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on, man? Like, oh man, yeah, crazy things like that. You know?
Right. How has your dietary habits changed as you've been sober?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, when you eat anything.
Yeah.
But now how have things changed for you?
Definitely could be worked on. You know, I got sober, but eating healthy is another battle. You know, something. I want to be healthy, you know. I don't know. I need to. You're right. I need to start.
Okay, I was just asking.
No, you're right. I need to start going to the gym, because I used to do that back in the day, and you feel so much better.
Yeah,
just
you do.
About yourself and the natural serotonin. It's a good thing, and eating good too. I don't eat necessarily terrible or as bad as I used to, but a lot.
We don't need you throwing up blood from hot Cheetos.
Hot Cheetos, yeah. I don't really eat hot Cheetos that much anymore. So.
I would think not.
Yeah,
it's a bad
Shout
experience.
Out to hot Cheetos.
In moderation.
As long as you have it in moderation, yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I really appreciate you for coming through. This is our first time, having to sit down, and I'm looking very much forward to this documentary. I know you have some interesting stories to tell us. But congratulations. So you said it's an EP?
Yeah, an EP. That's what. Yeah.
With no name yet. No
name
yet.
yet. No name yet. It might be Noda. Maybe you never know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's coming in October, and then the tour. Are you gonna bring a live band on the tour too, or is that just?
I want to do someday, so I gotta convince this guy. I think we should. You know what? Yeah, we will. There'll definitely be at least a few of the shows that we that we do that.
And financially, have things always been good for you, or?
Yeah, that I'm glad you brought that up too, because obviously a lot of videos talking about like speculating on money and finance. I hate those videos because they don't know anything about me, and it's just all like clickbait, like just to get it's just I hate that stuff. But there was a time where I spent damn near almost all my money on drugs, but now I've built back up like a pretty nice little, like I'm comfortable,
All right, good.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Still way up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're blessed. We're blessed.
All right, well, thank you so much, Diego.
Thank you.
For joining us on Wait with Angela Yee, a.k.a. Little Zan.
Hell yeah.
His anxiety.
Let's go. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you. It's way up.